Hey guys, hello everyone, hello again. This is teacher Renata with English Upgrade Training, taking your English and your career, of course, to the next level. I'm here, guys, to help you. My mission in this channel is to help professional students of English to improve their language, to improve their language skills, especially business English language skills, because I'm a specialized teacher in business English. I've been teaching business English to professional students, to corporate training courses for over 32 years now, guys. And I'm very pleased to have you here to join me in this video, and not just that, but to be part of my YouTube community. Thanks a lot for being part, for taking part in this project, guys, for, joining forces with me here to make this channel bigger and bigger and better every day. You are part of that, guys. I'd like to know that you are part of this community. So, super welcome again, guys. Este é o canal onde nós compartilhamos toda semana dicas de inglês para negócios. So, let's have a look at today's tip. So, guys, what's the difference between discuss and argue? Because in Portuguese, we have just one verb, discutir. And it can be good and bad. It's the same verb, the same word. But in English, we have two different verbs. We have the verb discuss and we have the verb argue. So which one should you use? In what situation should you use one or the other? That's a very good question, isn't it, guys? Most of my intermediate students have questions about these verbs in English. They don't know exactly how to use them in their communication in English. So they usually misuse these verbs in their communication. That's why I came up with this idea to make a video and explain you guys the difference between these two verbs. So don't stop watching, keep watching, keep learning. In the next slide, I'm going to tell you all about that, all right? See you in just a little bit. English Upgrade Training, taking your English to the next level. I'm absolutely sure you have used the verb discuss a lot so far when you speak or when you write in English. But how about the verb argue? Have you ever used it? And what is most important, have you ever used it right? Have you ever used it in the right way, in the correct way, in the right manner here? So, without any further delay, let's go to the explanation here in question, guys. So the verb discuss is like a positive verb, because why I'm saying it's a positive verb? Because it's a normal verb. You can say discuss for talk, right? For example, you call a meeting in your company to discuss a certain project. So to talk about the project, to exchange ideas and opinions with your manager or your colleagues or your peers at work about a certain project, right? So let's have a meeting to discuss the project. Let's have a meeting to discuss about the quality problems. So to discuss is a normal verb. It's a regular verb and it's a normal verb. It's discuss is not bad. It's part of the business world, isn't it, guys? I mean, every single day we discuss things in our workplace. So it's not bad. A discussion, is a conversation, is a talk, is an exchange of ideas and opinions, which is healthy, which is absolutely welcome and normal, right, guys? But there is the verb argue. And the verb argue is different. It's like a negative verb. It implies a negative idea. And why I'm saying that? Because when you argue with somebody, you are fighting. You are fighting this person, right? So, in what way? It's a verbal fight. Of course, it's not a physical fight. It's a verbal fight. So, você está brigando, você está batendo boca com a pessoa. This is totally different from discussing, right, guys? Totally different. So, to discuss, like I said, it's normal. It's a positive verb. But when you argue with somebody, that's bad, isn't it, guys? So, it's not a good idea to argue with people all the time. I know that sometimes you may lose your temper and sometimes you may lose it and you end up by, fighting people a little bit, but it's not a good idea to be arguing with people all the time, because then you'll be in trouble, you're going to have problems with your relationships. Both could be personal relationships, professional relationships. In all relationships, we have to discuss things, not argue. All right, guys? So argue is a fight. É bater boca, é brigar, é discutir in a negative sense, in a negative way. So from now on, now that you know this difference, from now on, watch out, guys, how you communicate these ideas in English. Because if you say discuss, it's positive. But if you talk about argue, it's negative, right? So in the next slide, as always, I'm going to show you guys some examples, some sentences, because the best way to learn vocabulary in any language is by contextualizing this vocabulary. I don't want you to just, listen to this tip here and it goes out there. No, I want you to, consolidate this knowledge. I want these expressions to stick to your head, guys. So to do that, I use real examples, I use real sentences. So shall we see the sentences in the next slide? All right, guys, let's have a look at the sentences so that you can better understand how to apply these two verbs correctly in English. All right, then. The first one, guys, let's set up a meeting. Let's schedule a meeting to discuss the auditing requirements. So there are some auditing requirements that need to be addressed, that need to be discussed by the leadership team, for example, in your company. So let's set up a meeting. Let's schedule this meeting to discuss, to talk about these auditing requirements. So like I said, this is the regular use of the verb discuss, to talk about, right? Let's have a look at the second example. They are going to hold a meeting to discuss the proposal. All right? So they're going to hold a meeting to discuss, to talk about, to exchange ideas and opinions about the proposal. Again, the regular use of the verb discuss. So if you have a look at sentences number 1 and number 2, I'm using discuss, in the good sense. Like, we are going to talk about this topic, this issue. Let's discuss this issue. So this is not a bad thing, all right? Not bad at all. Quite the contrary. It's by discussing things over that we reach an agreement, okay, guys? That we can, advance at work. We can do better at work. So this is a positive verb, by all means, okay? But let's have a look at the next sentences. Sentence number 3. The sales manager argued with the supplier about payment. Wow, that's a bad thing, isn't it, guys? So maybe the sales manager has lost his temper for one reason or the other and ended up by arguing with the supplier about the payment. So he argued with the supplier. Ele bateu boca com o fornecedor, né? Ele discutiu, ele brigou com o fornecedor. So this is not good at all. So the sales manager argued with the supplier about the payment. Let's look at the next example, sentence number 4. The logistic and production departments are always arguing about delivery. Isn't that company in your common? Does it sound familiar to you guys? That logistic and manufacturing departments are always fighting, okay? Always having a fight. They're always having an argument about delivery. They're always arguing about delivery. I think it's a common theme in the companies, isn't it, guys? So here they are always fighting. It's not good, it's bad. Eles estão sempre brigando, eles estão sempre batendo boca, discutindo. So it's a bad thing to happen. But unfortunately, it does happen in most companies, right, guys? And finally, sentence number 5. He had an argument with his supervisor about the night shift schedule. So he, a certain operator in the company, he had an argument with his supervisor about the night shift schedule. So the supervisor and the operator, for example, they had an argument. So this is another way to use the verb argue as a noun. They had an argument. Argument here is not a verb, it's a noun. So why did I bring this sentence? Because this is another very common way to use this idea of arguing in English. Not as a verb, but as a noun. Is a noun, right? So argument is a noun, it's a substantive. We had an argument. So last night I had a big argument with my husband. This is totally bad, isn't it? It's really bad when you have an argument with people in both in your family, at home, in your professional life. So it's never a good idea. Guys, how did you like this tip? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's been worth it, right? This tip has been worth it, okay, guys? Why? Because my job here is to bring things that are interesting for you, is to bring things that are usually questions that you have when you use English, both for speaking and for writing. I see these questions every day in my online classes, right, guys? I see this every day, and most people don't know how to use these verbs. Now you do, all right? Now you do. You know, you understand the difference between discuss and argue. So, guys, thanks a lot for sticking to the end, for sticking with me here. Thanks for listening to my tips. All right, for sharing my tips with your colleagues. And, don't be a stranger. Please visit my website at www.englishupgrade.net.br. And feel free, guys, feel entirely free to communicate with me, to contact me via email or my WhatsApp. You have all my business contacts in the next slide. So I'll be more than pleased to hear from you and to help you out. And maybe I'll see you not just in my next video at YouTube channel, but also in one of my classes or one of my business English workshops. So guys, super thanks. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye.